Hi people, my name is Morayo Kolusho Ahonaya, and today we'll be discussing tips for self-publishing in Nigeria. Ready? Okay, so as you probably know, I authored a book in 2017 called Another Story, the Memoirs of Nigerian Corper. And Another Story is basically the stories and tales of a young Lagos girl that was thrown into northern Nigeria, Kano, to serve her country in the National Youth Service Scheme. It was quite an event of a book, and if you can lay your hands on it, you should. But moving on, we're going into the 10 tips. I'm just going to share 5 in this video. This is going to be the first part of 2 videos, so I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, let's go. Tip number 1. Yes, we're diving straight in. It begins with an idea. Some of you have asked me, oh Morayo, how did it start? Where did it begin? Where did it start? And I'll tell you that working on it and clarifying it and getting to where it got to all started from an idea. An idea is the beginning, the genesis of everything. So yeah, it all starts with an idea. It begins with an idea. Don't be quick to discard or throw away your ideas. Guard and keep them. You don't know what they may evolve into. Okay? Tip number 2. You have to learn to unite what you want to write with what people want to read. Now, this is a bit tricky because sometimes people do not know what they want. People don't know what they want to read. People don't know what they want to consume until you give it to them. So you have to be willing to take some risks. Sometimes risks. Just forgive the Yoruba in me. Yeah, so you have to be willing to take the risk, but you also should learn to seek feedback. You should learn to speak to people, okay, or share your ideas or some parts of your ideas if you can. So yes, number 3, or tip number 3 is don't stop thinking and writing. In the process of writing this book, I mean, it wasn't hard as such because it's not fiction, it's non-fiction. But people will say, oh, Morayo, your book is so detailed. How come you have so many, how come you capture so many details of what happened? And I'm like, I actually journaled almost every day. Don't worry, it wasn't quite a stressful thing. It was actually therapeutic for me now that I think about it. So yes, you can put your hands to paper and write as much as you can every day. It is a discipline. It is a discipline that you have to practice, but it will help. It is beneficial. There's a result to it. After journaling for over a year, I still had to compile and make meaning of this journal into what people could read. You know, you can't just share your journal like that. I woke up today, this, that. It would not make sense. You have to still come back, sit down, and make it into chapters by chapters and make it into meaningful words that other people can relate with aside from you. That is for fiction. For non-fiction, my sister writes non-fiction. I think you just have to create a schedule. Maybe I'm going to write 300 words today, even if it doesn't make sense. Whenever the thought comes, you know, because sometimes a strong thought comes and you put it down. But even when the thought doesn't come, I'm going to try to write down something every week, every 2 days, every 3 days, like that. Do you understand? Now, the 4th tip is learn from people that have done this before. Now, there are lots of resources online, tons of resources. You don't even have to meet people physically to learn from their work. So read a book, read a memoir if you're writing a memoir, read lots of memoirs, read on how to write memoirs, read on whatever and however. I mean, you would think that because you studied English in school, because I studied English in school, you would think I'd know how to write these things because I wrote a couple of essays, expository, narrative, descriptive, when I was in school. You think, oh, I would be good at making this book, but it's not by that. It's not by knowing how to speak English. It's not by knowing how to write English. They're actually writing literary languages and methods that you need to incorporate before your book can be meaningful as such to people. Okay? And then the fifth thing, which is the last thing for this video and the most important thing, is please get a budget and then get a team. You see, by getting a budget, do your research. Yes, it also rolls back to the fourth point by asking people, okay, so how much did it cost you to do this book? Okay, you have an idea of what you want to do, you know, get your budget. And I'm not a believer in you can self-publish without money. I think that's a lie. Sorry to anybody that has said that, no offense, but personally, it's even if you have skill, you have to have lots of skills. For this, my book, I practically did everything from cover to layout and InDesign to even some graphics, like some of the diagrams, some of the pictures some of the drawings that were done. Some were done by Osese, the amazing Osese Amadasu, and the others were done by me. So even when you have skill, you still have to pay. I mean, I paid Osese to do some of the drawings in this book. And okay, let me finally show you the book, because I've been talking about the book. Another story, Memoirs of Nigerian Corper. It is both a graphic, it is a written book. You can see the quality of print, amazing. Yes, we'll talk about that one later. And this diagram, for instance, I drew it, and then even this I did it. But this one, this nice little one here, was done by Osese, and it's the one at the back. And there's so many others that Osese did, I did, like that. I'm looking for one that Osese did. So this was done by Osese, for instance. But yeah, okay, so I'm just showing you. I took these pictures, put them in. That's the end of that. But yeah, so you have to get a budget. You need a budget. You need to know, okay, so how much am I going to spend? And then it will help you when you're getting your team. And I'm going to list this team according to my will I say priority, the people that I think you should place value on. The first person I think you should get is an editor. This particular book is full of so many typos, even though my sister, thank you Tayo, she edited the book for me. Shola Akitunde edited the book for me, and a couple of other people, Brave Poet, they edited this book for me. But it didn't, it was still full of a lot of errors because I didn't quite pay for it. You know, it was just free work here, free work there, and then I now did the final proofreading myself. Mistake. So when I was going to put the one I post online on Amazon and Okada Books, when I was going to put that one online, I gave it to a proper editor to do for me on Akinde, and it was quite, I mean, my mind was blown. She really did a good job. So yes, you can read, there are different people online that do editing work. Oak Books, I think Okada Books does some of that. There are different people online, and if you go to some of these writing platforms, they will refer you to editors. So please pass your work to an editor for them to review for you if you want to, if you're in your final stages. The next thing I would advise for you to get is a publisher. Funny, right? I didn't want to go the self-publishing route initially. I actually sent my work to like 3 or 4 publishing houses here in Lagos. Of all of them, one replied. One of the very big ones replied, and I was impressed. But then at the time, they told me they don't publish this kind of thing that I'm writing. They don't publish that kind of thing, and I was a bit surprised. It was later on when I self-published, I went back to them to show them, okay, see what I meant. and then they gave me, oh, we actually do this but under another arm. Okay, should I just say the company? It's Kachifo, and they said they do it under the Farafina arm for Memoirs, and then it will cost me, they do not bear the cost of prints, of all those other things that maybe a non-fiction book they would have bore the cost, even marketing, but that they could print for me, they could do the graphics for me in a way that would be appealing. They could produce the book for me, but I would pay them for production. I was like, okay, so how much? And it was running into millions at the time, and I did not have the money, so I ran away. Oh well. But if you can, try to get a publisher. There's some things you would not have to worry about that they're going to take care of for you. And then the third one is like the second, a publicist. I worked with one for a while, but I couldn't afford him after a while. Demola. You know, get a publicist, someone that will bring up ideas on how to sell your book, someone that will help you market your books, someone that would start introducing you to platforms whereby you can garner the kind of readers or viewers you like. Get a publicist if you can. I mean, if you can't afford all these things, right? Aside from editor, better do it yourself, because for a while, for a long time, yeah, I did it myself. I basically did 90% of all these things. Publishing it was by myself, publicizing it was by myself on my Instagram page. That was mainly the place. And yeah, so the fourth best thing I think you should get when you're getting a team is a graphics designer, a designer in general. You get someone that is well-rounded, that can do web design for you if you want to go into if you want to do your own website for your book. Someone that can do graphics design, that will do your cover for you, that will do other things, you know, for you that are required if your book requires that. I'd advise you get that. And then I'll finally tell you to get a booking agent. Okay, at some point I was confused on how to sell because I wasn't selling anymore by myself. So I reached out to, I think, Roving Heights. Yes, Roving Heights. Thank you so much, Toby of Roving Heights. You're amazing. You helped me sell lots of my books. You were nice. And that they you know, Roving Heights put me on. I know there are several other people or booking agents like that sell your books for you. Actually, they weren't just a booking agent. They were like a platform for selling books. And what Roving Heights did was, because they were already on all this Jumia, Konga, all these other platforms, it was easy for them to put my book on those platforms under their own name. So I would just refer people, okay, buy from Roving Heights. They gave me tertiary discount or percentage of the whole thing, but it's okay. Or they collected tertiary discount. I think they collected like 20. I don't know how much they collect now. So yes, get yourself a booking agent. Shout out to Roving Heights once again. You guys can find them on Instagram. That's where I found them on. Yeah, so that is the conclusion for this part. So can we recall again the things that we discussed? My first 5 tips will meet you in the next video. My first 5 tips: 1, it all begins with an idea. Okay, don't be quick to discard any idea that comes to you. The idea for writing this book, oh, I didn't even tell you how it came about. So when I was going for NYC and I was posted to Kano, I wasn't exactly afraid until I actually got there before I started getting afraid. But I'm someone that likes to prepare. I like to be armed before I go into things. So I was looking for resources, materials, and I found a few, but scattered here and there. I was looking for someone that had done, like, written about their experience, and I didn't find anybody. And I'm like, okay, you know what, I'll actually write this down. I wasn't even going to make it into the book, and then I'm just going to share it somewhere, my own experience, so that someone will not have to be looking for or be trying to get an idea of what this thing is like, and they have no reference. So that was how this book came about. This amazing book came about. Okay, And then the second tip, unite what you want to write with what people want to read. Okay, be sure there's a market before you actually make this thing, or else not only you and your book could sleep for the room together. Sorry about that, but yeah, you understand what I'm saying now. Please don't stop thinking and writing. Don't stop thinking about your book. Don't stop thinking about those things, and then don't stop writing. Writing, as I said, for me was therapeutic. It was very, I had one of the best times just journaling my experience. I was journaling. One time I was on a very tumultuous train ride from Kano to Lagos. Do not try it. Please, I beg you. Do not take a train from Kano to Lagos. Okay? Even in first class, don't do it. And I wasn't even sitting in first class for many reasons. But yeah, so I was writing and I wasn't really talking, and they were making noise on the train, and then one guy, Yemi, I'm mentioning all your names, Yemi came and met me and said, "Oh, so what are you doing? I've noticed that you were writing." I'm like, "I'm just journaling." Amidst all the madness, it's kind of calming to just be writing what is happening down, and that's how we became friends. So I wrote everywhere and anywhere. Carry a jotter with you. It doesn't have to be big. My roommates knew me. Every night I'll just journal down. It doesn't have to be big. Okay, so the fourth tip is learn from people who have done it before. Okay, learn from people who have done it before. There's no shame in asking. We're all students of life. The fifth point is get a budget and then get a team. Okay, so that will be the end of this part of this video. See you in the next one. Hope you learned something. Please share down in the comments below what you learned or any question you have, and I will respond. Okay, all right, have a wonderful week and bye. Cheers.